Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Pulp Crazy. I'm your host, Jason Aiken. In this week's episode, I'm going to be celebrating Philip José Farmer's birthday. Farmer was born on January 26th, 1918. Today would have been his 98th birthday. To mark the occasion, I'm going to be discussing his short story, The Freshman. This is Farmer's contribution to H.P. Lovecraft's Cthulhu Mythos. The Freshman first appeared in the May 1979 issue of the Magazine of Fantasy and Science Fiction. It most recently has been reprinted in Tales of the Wool-Newton Universe, edited by Win Scott Eckert and Christopher Paul Carey, and published by Titan Books. Tales of the Wool-Newton Universe is currently available in both paperback and ebook formats. I'll make sure to put the Amazon link in the show notes. The Freshman takes place in the late 1970s on the campus of H.P. Lovecraft's Miskatonic University in Arkham, Massachusetts. I usually describe The Freshman as a more eldritch Harry Potter type story, predating the Harry Potter Hogwarts concept by almost 20 years. The freshman of the tale is Roderick Desmond, but he's not your typical college frosh. Desmond is a noted writer of occult novels, and he's in his 60s. He's left his overbearing mother, who's in her 80s, back home to enroll at Miskatonic University, or MU, as Farmer stylizes it in the story. His mother smothering him plays a large part in the story. The Freshman takes us through Desmond's first day at Miskatonic University. It begins with him registering for classes in the rundown campus gymnasium. It's here where we learn the area of study that Desmond is pursuing. He's registering for classes in the Cotode, which is spelled Cotoaahd, and that stands for Committee of the Occult Arts and History Department. The elderly department chairman is R. Layamon, who is aware of Desmond in his writing career. Layamon even remembers turning down Desmond's request to mail him a Xerox copy of The Book, which is most likely the Necronomicon, 10 years ago or so. Layamon does praise Desmond for his research on the non-Arabic origin of Alhazred's name. Abdul Alhazred, as most H.P. Lovecraft fans know, is credited as being the author of the Necronomicon. On a side note, while Desmond was waiting in line to register for classes, he spotted another student with a paperback copy of The Collected Works of Robert Blake, tucked into his back pocket. Robert Blake is a character that is the focal point in a trilogy of short stories by H.P. Lovecraft and Robert Bloch. These are The Shambler from the Stars by Robert Bloch, where Blake is the narrator. The Haunter of the Dark by H.P. Lovecraft, where Blake is the main character. And The Shadow from the Steeple, written by Robert Bloch, that stars a friend of Blake's. As you might guess, the character of Robert Blake is an analog for Robert Bloch. Robert Bloch was friends with H.P. Lovecraft as a young man, but later in life he was also friends of Philip José Farmer and Farmer's wife, Betty. Including a reference to the writings of Robert Blake in the story by Farmer is a touching tribute to his friend, Robert Bloch. I should also note that Farmer put Robert Blake in the Wool-Newton family tree as well. Besides the reference to Robert Blake, Farmer put in a few more Cthulhu Mythos references in The Freshman, but they aren't all as obvious and center stage as the Blake reference. Farmer does mention a few deities by name, such as Yog-Sothoth and Hastur, but he also buries the bone a little bit too, like the strange creature that keeps pushing the Coke bottle out of the mouse hole in the wall in Desmond's dorm room, and the unusual cannons that seem to have seen action underwater used by the ROTC. Now, in addition to already established Cthulhu Mythos elements, Farmer creates some of his own surrounding the local Native American tribe that play a big part in the story. The germ for The Freshman is a dream that Farmer had. He dreamt he was an elderly student at a strange university rushing for a fraternity. The Freshman is his dream brought to life as Desmond is later recruited by Layamon in his fraternity, Lam Ka Alif. All of the fraternities at Miskatonic University have Arabic names rather than Greek names. The only exception is the fraternity known as the House of Hastur. It's at the Lam Ka Alif fraternity house where the story really picks up, and Desmond begins to wonder about Layamon and his intentions towards him. I won't go into any more detail than that, but I will say that this is a story where sorcery is involved. Farmer even included two characters with sorceress literary roots. They are both students at Miskatonic University. One is Wendell Treppen, who states his ancestor is Rachel Treppen, an infamous Cornish witch from the hamlet of Tredannick Woollis near Poldhu Bay in England. Sean Lee Levin of the Crossover Universe blog points out that the Sherlock Holmes story, The Adventure of the Devil's Foot, features the hamlet of Tredannick Woollis as well. The other character with literary roots is Bukawai, a Gabonese student who is also being recruited by the Lam Ka Ali fraternity. It's said that Bukawai comes from a long line of African witch doctors. His ancestor is thought to be the witch doctor, who was also named Bukawai, that appeared in the Jungle Tales of Tarzan by Edgar Rice Burroughs. So in addition to Cthulhu Mythos references, Farmer also brought in other literary references, as he was known to do in his Wool-Newton related works, which The Freshman is included in, due to the above references as well as the reference to Robert Blake. Now, if you're interested in learning more about Farmer's Wool-Newton family, head over to woolnewtonfamily.com for a great resource. Well, that's it for this week's episode of Pulp Crazy. I'd like to wish Philip José Farmer a happy birthday. I discovered his work shortly before he passed, back in February 2009, and I regret not discovering it earlier, so I could at least get a chance to meet him, or, heck, even write him. But here's to you, PJF. Happy birthday. Pulp Crazy is located at pulpcrazy.com. I'm at Pulp Crazy on Twitter and facebook.com/pulpcrazy. My YouTube channel is located at youtube.com/pulpcrazy. You can also email me at pulpcrazy@gmail.com. My author site is jasonscottaiken.com. For more Philip José Farmer goodness, check out pjfarmer.com and meteorhousepress.com, as well as the aforementioned woldnewtonfamily.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.